Statistically, 1 in every 10 adults takes antidepressants. In January 2012, Facebook launched a massive experiment in secret. The plan was to alter users' news feeds, to subtly manipulate what they saw, and measure whether they could change the mood of an entire population. Without asking for permission, without notifying anyone, they used nearly 700,000 people as real research subjects, simply to answer a corporate question: can unhappiness spread through a screen? This is the engineering behind the most controversial experiment in the history of social media. Today, you're about to discover why and how they pulled it off. Why would a social media company want to alter its users' emotional state? The official answer from Facebook's data scientists was academic rigor. They wanted to test the theory of digital emotional contagion, to scientifically determine whether emotions spread like a virus through screens without any face-to-face interaction. But behind the science, there was another motive, a purely commercial one. Facebook is a business built on the attention economy. If the algorithm can figure out exactly which variable to change in order to influence a user's emotions, the system becomes predictable, and if they can influence how you feel, they can also predict how long you'll stay on the platform and which advertisements you're most likely to engage with. Everything revolves around one metric: your attention. How did they intervene in the news feeds of 700,000 people with mathematical precision? They relied on a software architecture built on 2 pillars: a language analysis system and an automated experiment. First, the system used a well-known linguistic analysis program called LIWC, originally developed by researchers at the University of Texas. The software automatically processed millions of posts written by users' friends. If a post contained words like love, happy, or great, the algorithm classified it as positive content. If it included words like cry, sad, or pain, it classified it as negative content. The algorithm went to work. It didn't delete posts from Facebook servers. That would have been too obvious. Instead, it acted like an invisible gatekeeper. For one group, it deliberately reduced the likelihood of showing positive posts. For another group, it did the exact opposite. It reduced the number of negative posts appearing in their feeds. Everything happened without anyone noticing. The result? It worked. Although the effect on each individual was extremely small, only a tiny fraction of a percent. When that tiny change was multiplied across hundreds of thousands of people, a clear pattern emerged. Those who saw fewer positive posts began writing significantly more negative status updates. Facebook confirmed something deeply unsettling, that it could influence the behavior of an entire population simply by changing a single line of code. June 2014. 2 years after the experiment, the bombshell exploded. Facebook's data science team, together with researchers from Cornell University, proudly published the results. They expected praise for the technical precision of their research. Instead, they faced global outrage. The world discovered that a technology corporation and an elite university had manipulated the emotional state of hundreds of thousands of people without obtaining explicit informed consent. The international scientific community responded with harsh criticism. Even the scientific journal later acknowledged that the research practices were not fully consistent with the principles of obtaining informed consent. When the backlash intensified, Cornell University responded that its ethics review board had never reviewed the experiment because Facebook had already collected and analyzed the data on its own servers. Then came the biggest question: how could this have been legal? Facebook argued that every user had agreed to the terms of service when creating an account. But for the scientific community, that was never enough. Accepting a digital contract is not the same as informed consent required by research ethics when conducting experiments on human subjects. The experiment ended, but the engineering principles it uncovered did not. They became the foundation of today's digital industry. Today, modern algorithms no longer need to randomly hide posts. Artificial intelligence has made the entire process far more precise. Now, these systems analyze how long you look at a post, which videos you replay, what music you listen to, which advertisements you ignore, what time you use your phone, and exactly when you are most vulnerable. The algorithm doesn't necessarily hide reality. It can simply prioritize the content most likely to keep your attention. Why? Because a user caught in an intense emotion stays on the screen for longer. And in the digital economy, more time means more advertising revenue. Facebook demonstrated that software design can influence the emotional state of an entire population. The next time you feel an unexplained sadness while scrolling through your phone, ask yourself, is it really yours? Or is the algorithm simply executing exactly the function it was designed to perform?